Hey there YouTube, it's Nick with Feeding Fitness. Today I'm going to do a video on eating protein on a budget. One of my MyFitnessPal friends suggested I do this video, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. If you want to follow me on MyFitnessPal, the link is always in the description. But getting protein in on a budget, some people think protein tends to be the most expensive of the three macronutrients. That there are very cheap and easy ways to get in carbs and fats, and that protein generally costs the most. Well, I think it depends on what kind of protein you're getting and where you're getting it from. So I came up with a list of what I consider to be some of the cheaper ways to get your protein in, with a couple expensive ways to compare. So I'm going to start with, this is one of the cheapest whole food ways I can find protein. So it's going to be getting chicken in bulk from a big box store, like a Sam's Club or a Costco's or a BJ's or some, one of those places you pay for a membership. Now I go to Sam's Club because that's all we have in my area. For me to buy boneless, skinless chicken breast, I pay roughly $1.89 per pound, and you have to buy 5 to 6 pounds at a time. So if you can't go through that much in a week, you're either going to have to pre-cook it or freeze it. But it works out to cost about 2 1/4 cents per gram of protein. And that's how I'm going to break this down. The cost per gram of protein. So that is actually pretty cheap when you think about it. It was one of the cheapest ways you could get your protein in. Now, I did not factor in the cost of your membership. For Sam's Club, for me, it's $40 a year, but you make up that in things like gasoline and so many things that I didn't count that into the price. If you want to count that $40 a year into the price, it's probably going to add a fraction of a fraction to your number, but that is one of the cheapest whole food ways to get your protein in. Now, why do I say whole food? Because another very cheap way to get your protein in is whey protein powder. Whey protein powder, oftentimes people think is expensive because it's a big initial cost, but for what you pay, you kind of get a lot of protein. Now I'm going to compare two brands in two different sizes. First is Cellucor. This is my personal favorite brand of protein. Now, I'm going to say you're buying the 2-pound tub off of bodybuilder.com and you're not getting it when it's on sale. It does go on sale all the time. But if you're paying $30 for the small tub, because the small tub is going to be more expensive per gram than the big tub. So it's going to work out to be 4.6 cents per gram of protein. A lot more expensive than your chicken breast, which is barely over 2 cents. But that's buying a premium protein in the smallest amount available. And what I did not include shipping on that. So if you're paying for shipping, that's going to add to it, but I didn't include that. Now, here's a cheaper protein that you're going to buy in a bigger size. Say you go to smartpowders.com and you buy their site brand protein, just Smart Powders Vanilla Whey. This is going to run you $39 for a 5-pound tub, and it's going to cost about what chicken breast costs. It's a little bit more expensive. It's 0.025 instead of 0.0225 cents per gram of protein. So that's significantly cheaper. That's on par with the chicken breast. And the reason I used Cellucor and Smart Powders is only because those two proteins are both quality proteins. They're not amino acid spiking. That's a whole nother video on a whole nother topic. But both those brands are quality protein. In my opinion, the Cellucor mixes better and tastes better, but you're paying for it. If you purely are trying to get protein in on the cheap, Smart Powders whey protein is a good choice. All right, let's go back to whole foods. Egg whites. Egg whites are a great protein source. Egg whites are pretty cheap too. A dozen eggs at the Acme by where I live, when they're on sale, cost $1.19. So from a dozen eggs, we'll get a dozen egg whites. I'm saying you're going to throw the yolk away because most people aren't going to eat a dozen whole eggs. That's just a ton of calories. That is also going to work out to be just 2.5 cents per gram of protein. Also pretty cheap. You're going to have to buy a lot of eggs. You're going to have to have a lot of room for eggs in your fridge. But cost per gram, that's pretty well down there. Okay, Greek yogurt. Bit more expensive, but you're not going to live on chicken breast and egg whites. So you need some kind of diversification. Now, Greek yogurt is going to have some carbs in it too, and this is the fat-free Greek yogurt. To buy a 4-cup tub of fat-free yogurt at Sam's Club, it's going to run you about $5.28. That works out to about 5.7 cents per gram of protein. So more than double that of the eggs and the protein powder in the chicken, but again, still not super expensive. Cottage cheese, going to be even a little bit cheaper than the Greek yogurt. I know some people despise cottage cheese, but I threw it on there, and this is not fat-free cottage cheese. This is for like a 2% cottage cheese. It's going to be about 2.6 cents per gram of protein. So that's kind of down there with the eggs and the protein powder and the chicken breast. So another good choice on the cheap. Here's one that surprised me. I was actually trying to find an expensive source of protein, and this came to mind, and it actually turned out being rather cheap. Right on Walmart.com, you can buy a box of Special K protein cereal. And I thought for sure there's only 10 grams of protein per serving. I thought this was going to be very expensive at the cost per gram, but it really isn't. So for $3, this was the price that it was online, you're going to get a box. It actually works out to 2.7 cents per gram of protein. Another really cheap source of protein. All right, to give you some comparison, here are 2 items that are not cheap sources of protein. Say you buy shrimp. Shrimp is delicious. It is a pretty pure protein. There's not much else in it. It's a great source of protein. It's just expensive. For 36 ounces of shrimp, and this is at Sam's, so this is buying in bulk, it's going to run you $20.48. That's right around 10 cents per gram of protein. So, it's 4 times the cost of the cheaper proteins. Deli meat. Deli meat is never good. 1, it's packed with sodium, which most people don't want anyways. And 2, it is just not that cheap. For a pound of deli turkey on sale at Acme, it was $5. And that's going to work out to roughly 8 cents per gram of protein. So quite a bit less protein for your buck. I thought this video would be interesting to you guys just to compare the varying costs of protein. So really, your cheapest and best ways to do it, chicken breast in bulk. And remember, you really have to buy it in bulk to get this kind of savings. I'm talking about $1.89 a pound per chicken. At Acme, that I was looking at, where I got some of these other prices, even on sale, their chicken was $2.99 a pound. That is going to send that cost way up. So remember, chicken in bulk. Whey protein powder, if you want a tastier, better mixing protein powder, it's going to cost you more. If you want a cheap quality protein powder that might not taste as good and still mixes well but not as well, in my opinion, much cheaper. So check out smartpowders.com. And eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt. It should give you a variety of tastes so you're not bored. And then save the expensive protein for a special occasion. So if you're trying to get in your protein on the cheap, I hope these were some good ideas. Please share with me how you get your protein on the cheap, some other things that I might have left out in this video, because this just covers a couple things. There are hundreds of good sources of protein, all at varying costs. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, comment down below or join us at the Facebook page at facebook.com/feedingfitness, and I'll see you guys next time.